Hi, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Brian.
And we're the WVGamers. So today we are actually taking a look at a prototype copy of a game called Crimson Woods by Josh Bryan. It is actually coming to Kickstarter this coming Tuesday, the 27th of October, or Spooktober, however you want to look at it. In this game, you are trying to get out of Camp Crimson Woods before the killer gets you. Kinda sounds like a horror movie, right? So, let's take a look at the components. The components will change slightly because, obviously, this is a prototype. The final product will come out sometime, hopefully, next August, shipping to the backers, as long as it's fully funded. So, when Josh sent us this game, he actually sent us a couple of stickers. One of... the Camp Crimson Woods logo, established in 1974, as well as this awesome metallic-y one.
It's like a holographic feel to it.
Yeah, I really like it.
Nice.
And then the box itself, as you can see, it's not quite the right thickness for all of the components, but again, this is a prototype. It will change. So let's take a look. So, we have the cards. These are actually supposed to be single-sided. I'm not even in the angle. These are supposed to be single-sided, but unfortunately they are double-sided. But that will change, of course. And then these cards here. I'm not entirely sure what all of the components are because we haven't gone through the whole thing yet. But then we have the wooden meeples as well as blood drop meeples.
No yellow.
No yellow. But I can play the orange player. Then the die that you roll for the killer that gives you the north, south, east, west, as well as number of spaces, the 1, 2, and 3s. And then some other colorful dice. And then the weapon cards.
Speaking of weapons.
I'm going to allow Brian to open them with the box cutter. I like the backs of them. They kind of look like knapsacks that you take camping. And then the character cards. The character cards kind of looks like you get to name your character, and it gives you the abilities like its movement spaces, and then the health tracker. And they're slightly different, so. And I like that it says property of Camp Crimson Wood. Oh, and one that's fully done. This one is a camp counselor since 2015.
So is the idea that they'll all probably look like that in the end? The others are just kind of...
Probably.
Okay.
Whoop. And then the backs are just a flat black backing. And then the counselor handbook. That's pretty cool. Little map of the camp. And then it says, "Thank you for joining our team here at Camp Crimson Woods. We have a great summer in store for not only the campers, but you as our new counselors as well. We hope that you will see that you will grow and learn just as much as our campers in the next couple of months. We will be doing amazing activities that will help develop you into the great leaders of tomorrow. Some of the activities you will have to look forward to here at Camp Crimson Wood are cardio, hide and seek, problem solving, exploration, and even a little self-defense. We have created a great program here that we believe will allow all counselors and campers to shine to their full extent. So, as you prepare for those first buses to arrive full of smiles and cheers, please go over this handbook and prepare to make this the best summer yet."
Yeah, it's too positive. They're all gonna die.
Then it's talking about the components that come into the game, as well as the setup. Gameplay overview. I kind of like that the rulebook turns into the counselor handbook. I kind of like that.
Nice.
And then there's an alternate mode in the game. I like it.
Wait, so let me just double check this last page real quick. So what I think it is, so yeah, so it looks like you actually, as you play the game, you can put all the victims' names in here to kind of
so you can remember them.
Yeah, that's neat.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty neat.
And then we have the tiles to show the different parts of the camp, it looks like. And then the woods on the back. I like that.
I'm guessing these will all be tiles that we pop out and mix together and we flip them over and build the camp.
Mm-hmm. And I love popping cardboard.
She does. She gets mad when I pop them.
I do. I love it. The artwork even looks really cool on it. Alright. So, that is the components of the game Chrismwood by Red Clover Gaming. So, in our next little section, we'll do a playthrough of the game. So, as you've seen in the previous segment, there's a lot of components coming into Chrismwoods. In this segment, we are going to do some playthrough of the game just to demonstrate the turn order and how to play the game. A recap, in this game, you are trying to escape Camp Chrismwood by either boat, car, or the Watchtower where the cops rescue you. You just need to have the resources that you need to escape from those locations before the killer gets you. Again, our player aids is our little character tracker for our health and whatnot. There are special abilities on there that you can utilize to help you during your turn. So I will start. So on my turn, I will roll for the killer, and you are going to utilize the yellow or the white and the black dice. And I have a dice tray here. So I rolled a 6 and a 2. On that turn, you will look for a tile that is face up that has those coordinates. However, currently we only have the 4 starting tiles face up, so we don't have a 6 or a 2. So the white die is the column, and the black die is the row. So we're going for 6 and then 2. So the killer will appear here. Now, when you play, you and your teammates can decide if you would like to visually know where the killer is, playing at the aspect that like you have like booby traps around the woods so you know where he pops up, or you can play it as, I don't know, he's on the 6 and 2 tile. For this game, I'm going to play it as, I don't know he's on the 6 and 2. So we'll see how it goes. So I rolled for the killer to go there. So now I get to move. And on my little player reference, it says that I have a movement of 2. So I will move 2 spaces. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. And then I'm going to resolve this tile. I'm going to move that stack out of the way. So I'm going to flip this tile. You get a little like freebie card underneath, and it says to draw a card.
And you can either use that right away or hold that until a future turn.
Correct. So now I'm going to flip it, and I'm on a draw a card or discard a card to take a card from the discard. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold this one because I have to draw a card here. So I'm going to draw a card. Oh no! And it's the killer. So the killer ends up moving to my space, and now we're going to have a roll-off. The killer is going to have 3 dice, which in our prototype is 3 red dice. And I, being the lonely counselor that I am, will only have 2 dice. Whoever rolls the highest wins the battle and continues on. Ooh, I rolled a 12.
Unfortunately, I rolled a 13. Now,
No.
if we were a little bit further into the game, she may have items that augment that, but we're not far enough along into the game.
So, with that, the killer wins. So, I go down 1 on my health tracker, down to 2. The killer disappears for right now. And I have to move 2 spaces away.
Yes.
So, I'm going to go...
She is fleeing.
2. Yes. Because I left this tile, it flips back over. Now, I don't uncover this tile until the start of my next turn. And because the killer attacked me, I don't finish the rest of my turn. So now it goes to Brian.
Yep. Alright, so I'm going to see where the killer is. I roll a 4 and a 5, so there's not any of those tiles out here. So I go over 5 and go down 4. So I'm going to go this way. Not that I know that he's there. I just know that she went that way. No reason for us to go in the same place. So I'm going to go 1, 2. So we'll go ahead and take this. I have the key to the Watchtower. This is one of the items needed for one of the 3 ways of escaping. So I have that in front of me. Flip this over. It is a little cabin that allows me to... I have to roll a d6. And on a 1 to 2, I heal up 1 health. Don't really need it, but okay. 3 to 5, I will draw a card. Or 6, the killer appears. Meaning I'm going to roll the 6. I'd roll the 4. So
he gets to draw a card.
Draw a card. So I've resolved the tile. That's my 3rd action. So on the 4th action, since I didn't have to flee the killer, I also just get to go ahead and draw another tile. And our dogs are doing stuff. Alright. So now I'm going to roll to see where the killer is going to go. And it's going... If it comes up one of the numbers, it goes to the closest space where there's a person. Okay, it's going to go after Amanda again. It's going to go 1, 2, because I was 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. And she was only 2. I don't know what's going on with the dogs. Alright, so we have to resolve another combat. So go ahead and grab your dice.
I'm afraid.
Ooh.
10.
17. So she takes another damage. This is not going so well for Amanda. And it wasn't. She hasn't even got a second turn, and she's been attacked twice now. This is not necessarily the normal thing that would happen. It's just that's just how dice are rolling for us. So that was the killer roll of my turn. So I am done with my turn.
Okay. So it's the start of my 2nd turn. So I get to flip this tile
You would have had to have fleed from the killer.
Oh, I would.
Yep.
Go 2 spaces. 1, 2.
And that fleeing happened on my turn. So now it is officially her turn.
So I will flip. And I got the slasher card. So, if I get 3 of these, the killer appears.
Yeah. Slasher or stalker? I can't remember.
Stalker. Okay, I'm gonna flip this one. Oh, good. It's the first aid kit. Let's see. If I roll a 1 on a d6, the killer appears. Or on the 2 to 6, nothing happens.
But regardless, you heal 1 health.
And I still heal the 1 health. So I'm going to roll a d6. And I got a 4. So nothing happens. The killer left me alone for now. Now I actually get to roll the dice. So I get to roll for the killer to appear. And it is 5 and 4. No 5 and 4. But row 5, 4 down, the killer is here.
Man, I hope he does not get a 2.
So I'm going to move.
I think it's fair to assume that you knew the killer was up there and you were continuing to run from him the last 2 runs. It's okay if you don't
I'm going to go 1, 2. Okay. So I land here. And I get another stalker card. And I flip. Oh, good. And I get another first aid. So I heal up.
That is really weird.
That one goes away.
Yep.
And now I roll a d6. If I roll a 1, the killer comes. And I roll anything else, nothing happens. 6, so nothing happens. Whew. So I get to draw a card. And I got the machete.
So next time the killer comes after her, she has a machete that gives her a +2
Yes.
to her attack. So that'll help her out a little more.
So I drew. So now I get to roll the movement die, which he gets to move 1 space north. Thank goodness. Leave me alone.
Alright.
So that ends my turn. So the killer actually technically goes away until Brian rolls for his appearance.
The roll at the end of the round is mostly just for an opportunity for the killer to go after any of the people that may have been near him in the woods.
Yes.
So, yeah, roll these dice first. So 2, 5. Nope. But he is going to land right where I am. Go ahead and hand that to me. So 2 and 5. So I get my first encounter with the killer.
Yeah.
Okay. So, here is the dice for you.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah,
here's
I
the
know.
dice for you. I haven't rolled these, so...
Alright, so we'll see. Let's just dice roll. I can resolve this after I see the dice results. So let's see if it'll even matter. 7.
And don't forget, you have special abilities.
Oh yeah, I do have special abilities.
I rolled 9, 10, 11.
Okay, I'm going to discard this body armor. Killer discards the highest, the dice roll with the highest value.
That takes the 5 out.
And I have 7 to the killer 6. This killer actually runs away from me. So, I scare him away. Haha. Alright, so that was the first step on my turn. So I still get to do my other stuff. I'm going to go ahead and go 1, 2, move up here. This flips back over. This comes up. It's a stalker card. Okay, so I'm at a little crossroad or a little river, so I must roll a d6 to either 1 to 3 cross safely, allowing me to go to one of the other spaces near me, or a 4 to 6 trip and fall and lose one of my items. Okay, I trip and fall and I lose one of my items, which the only thing I had left that I'm willing to give up is the energy drink. So does that end my turn at that point? I can't remember.
It doesn't specify in this. Now, they are still working on the rulebook, so some of these rules may change with the final production. It just says the trip and fall, you randomly lose a card from your hand and
so that's
no, turns over. So your turn is over.
Yep. So that is all I do. So let's just clear up the dice here. So it's now your turn.
I go 1, 2.
First things first.
Oh, nope.
Killer.
Yep. 3 and 3. He is right there.
Funnily enough, that is where the 3 and 3 would be anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Alright. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go here.
Okay.
I got a first aid. I don't need it right now, but I
You may
will.
have it.
I'm gonna flip it. Hey, we got the Watchtower.
Hey. We have the keys to the Watchtower. But what else do we need for the Watchtower?
With the Watchtower, we need batteries. We need the keys and a successful roll. Okay. And then wait 1 full round after the successful roll for the police to show up.
Okay. So
we need
batteries. Okay.
Okay. So I really...
So you don't actually have to do this because there's nothing here to do.
There.
That's when you want to use it.
So I moved there. I resolved the tile for the most part. I'm going to get to draw a card. And I got the batteries!
Huh. Well, we were only planning to run a few rounds, but it looks like we got really lucky. So...
Hey, Brian! Come down this way!
So assuming the killer doesn't get one of us and causes us to flee from here, I'm going to head down there.
So, hang on. The killer is there, so I'm going to roll his movement die. And he's going to move 2.
So he goes 1, 2.
And he's getting closer to Brian.
He gets close, but he doesn't get me. Alright. So, on the beginning of my turn, I'm going to see if he finds me. 2 and 6. Yeah. 2 and 6 is not up here. Close. So yeah, actually it's 2 and 6.
Oh, 2 and 6.
This is kind of working out fun. So I'm going to use my 2 movements to move down here. We have what we need between the two of us, so I'm going to resolve the tiles action and roll a d6 and hope the batteries don't die on us. So on a 1, the killer finds us. On a 2, the batteries are dead and we discard the batteries. We have to look for new batteries. 3 to 4, no signal. 5 to 6, the police answer. And we have to wait here 1 full turn. And if we do, and don't get chased away, we win the game. So let's see what happens. Batteries are dead.
Oh no!
Isn't that how that goes? But at that point, you basically have to search through the board, find a fresh set of batteries, and return here. Now, there are things in the game that will cause these tiles to get shifted around. So while you know where it is now, you can get lost in the woods and kind of lose your way. So it is possible this won't always be here, but that's pretty much how the game's going to finish out.
Yeah. And I'm fairly certain I said during our prototype rendition, but these cards here that are underneath of your tiles are actually supposed to be single-sided, so you don't know what they are, but when the prototype was made, they accidentally did them as double-sided. So when you do shuffle them and put them out, you won't actually know what's there.
So just ignore the fact that if you can see it on the camera, you can see the white and dark.
Yeah.
In a normal game, you're not going to actually see that because it's all going to be like some other background.
Yes. And because our table is a little slick, like even just putting it slides.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that's the playthrough of Crimson Woods. So, I hope you enjoyed the previous 2 segments where we unboxed Crimson Woods, as well as doing the playthrough of the game to give you more information about it. So here's where we're going to give our pros and cons for the game. And I'm going to say I have more pros than cons. I love the theme of Crimson Woods. I like everything horror, Halloweenish feeling, even if it does scare me. Like, I like hacker and slasher, so, or hacker, and, what is the phrase?
Hack and slash?
Yeah. And I just really enjoy it. I like that the game has so much replayability, but
it has a lot of replayability because the board's going to always spawn out a little different. You have the same 4 center tiles that are the camp, but everything out in the woods, it's kind of, each game it's going to be a little different. On top of that, you have your little cards that go underneath of them on what you'll necessarily discover. Those are also going to be variable, but each of the tiles themselves have unique events on them. So
yeah. And, like, I know this is a prototype, the material and things will change, but I just love the material and the pictures for the resource cards, because it looks like the knapsack that you would take camping with your supplies and whatnot. I really like that. And when we actually sat down and played this with Josh on the digital implementation of it, he was telling us some of the things that he's hoping to achieve with it, of the character resource cards, or like your character cards. He's hoping to have them be double-sided, so there's more characters that you can hopefully play with.
I believe some of the pledge levels for the Kickstarter is actually people inputting their, like, selves as those counselors, or to get some say on them. So I think that's why you only have 1 so far. I think this person, somebody who helped finance the prototype or something like that, so he wanted to show him a little respect by putting him into the game. Yeah. But yeah, all of the cards will actually have full portraits and bios on them, basically.
But I really enjoy it. Like, I know with the prototype copy, like, some of the things didn't print correctly, and they're going to be fixed in the final installment, but, like, I really enjoyed it. I like the aspect of, is the killer going to get me on this turn, or is he going to get me on Brian's turn? And in the previous segment, I got hit a lot by the killer.
Well, we got really, really lucky in that quick little playthrough. I mean, obviously the batteries went dead, but I mean, in the other games we've played, it was much longer than that.
Yes.
So I mean, again, with the variable board setup, it could be a short game. More often than not, it's going to be a longer game. But there is the chance that it could just be a simple game that goes very quick.
And you never know. You could have moments where the dice love you, or they could want to slash you too.
And so I can't remember the full details, but I believe there's going to be custom killers in the game as well that have some different mechanics or something like that. I know that there's a level for creating different killers, so it's something to definitely check out on the Kickstarter, where Josh will be providing more of those details than what we necessarily have.
Mm-hmm.
But
there is one stretch goal where it's going to make the game go from 2 to 6 players to 1 to 7 players. It's Edgar. You can take a look at the screen where it has his different abilities, where the killer cards can be played at any time, and draw 5 cards at the start, and you draw back up to 5 once you have used all 5. So it adds a little bit more in depth to the game. I kind of can't wait to see what that all entails when it actually gets completed and fleshed out in full detail.
Yeah, and I believe in that case it's actually a one versus everybody else mode.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than being full cooperative, it's cooperative, but one player's working against them. It's not technically a traitor; it's just one versus all. But it'll have that unique little twist, so it's a little different if you don't necessarily want to all work together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, other than some little minor things, the printing error is one of the negatives. But again, that's a prototype. Yep. That's to be expected. I kind of hope the counselor cards come on slightly thicker board. They have the same card stock as the cards themselves, but I would like to see the player boards just slightly thicker, either on a thin chipboard or something. But I mean, other than that, prototype wise, everything was pretty good.
Yeah.
Other than the things we've said.
Yeah. And even like Josh already has ideas for an expansion and continuing the Crimson series, so it'll be nice to check out. But be sure to check out the Kickstarter for Crimson Woods. It's live currently on Kickstarter, so check it out.